Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Everquest Old School. On tonight's episode, I am joined by a number of really good friends. We have Cypher Deck joining us tonight,
Hey guys, this is Cyber Deck.
and you are playing Fever tonight, right?
Oh yeah,
What level is
trying
your
to get.
guy?
He's 52, trying to get him to level 60 ASAP.
Well, ASAP
Or
going from 52 to 60 is relatively speaking, but not going to happen that quick, I don't think, guys. But Seb is the right place to come. We also have Nano03 with us.
hey, what's up, everybody?
And what do you're playing Nano, who's level 60. How you liking that guy now at level 60, man? Are you getting a lot of experience still, or you maxed
I
out?
am max.
See if you want to see if Mezzer wants to join us.
I am maxed out on experience. I'm working on AAs, man.
Ah, nice. We have a Lar. What level are you right now, man?
58 forever.
Well, we might be able to get you some experience. Let me see. Where are we hit?
Disco. If we can get there and no one takes it before we get there, because nobody called it.
All right. Let's head to Disco then.
See if Mezzer wants to join us.
And we have Richard the Heat with us.
What's going on?
The heat.
Guess not.
I think he camped out, so he said he was out of mana if we wanted to take it. If you guys want to, I think he's still there, right? Or maybe he just went invis. Who all?
No, he said camping these ran OOM.
Oh, okay. Well, he might be back then. We'll see.
Camping out the aggro.
See, nice each time I have a bard in my group, I want to make a bard.
Ah.
Yeah, we got Complete Heal that we ran into over in Kale. We were actually going to hit that zone up a little sooner than this one, but unfortunately, a lot of people had the same idea tonight, and it was insanely camped. So we decided to come over to Seb, and it looks like there might be some stuff open. Now, how long has it been since you guys have been here?
2 weeks.
Last time we
Maybe.
were here. What do you?
This is the first time on this character.
First time in Seb, huh?
Nice.
Yeah, on this
Nice,
character.
Nice.
I mean, I did it on live, but that was about it. Incoming group for Jen, by the way. Then I'll coroplast you, Noddle.
All right.
And I will give you guys some buffs here in a second as well. I'm guessing everybody still needs Heroic Bond and Aegis?
Wouldn't hurt.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
it could.
Get the mana.
Okay, clerics don't have damage shield.
Well, we have an anti-damage shield.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I'm here for. I got the
That's
damage.
a healing shield.
Dude, I got a damage shield that stacks with this. Right now I'm doing 30. We're doing 37 on damage shield.
Get your mind out of your pants.
What?
Where'd that come from?
I have no idea what that was from. I think I might actually get my level tonight, which is crazy. It's been, what, like 3 months that I've been stuck at this level, and I am...
Just jinxed
57?
it.
Yeah, completely. We're going to die like 50 times tonight. I'll lose most of my level. And for some reason, my res button won't work.
That's horrible.
Well, that's the only way this guy could lose experience, is to, for some reason, not be able to res himself. Oh, there we go. So, how's our DPS? Do you think guys think we need to fill that last spot, or are we good?
Mezzer's back,
All right.
and so is Alex.
Who's Alex?
OWLIX. It's a
With
gnome.
Mezzer?
He's a gnome enchanter also. He's LFG. If you do LFG.
He's a gnome enchanter.
Nice thing about
Yeah.
we have some haste. and
Yeah,
some
he's level
mana
60.
regen.
I'm getting a request for a drag.
We'll see what they
It's an
say.
NPC. I'll get you guys to Disco, and then I'll go up and get them for them guys.
Where are they dead at, buddy?
He said ABC.
It's not too bad.
Let me get my res up. Yeah, so he said he'll join. I tossed him an invite.
Right on.
At least I think I did. Actually, never mind. All right, so he said never mind. Where's he at?
Alex?
No, the other guy.
Oh, Mez? He's right behind us.
No, he said never mind. I'm looking at the other enchanter, see if he wants to join us.
He just went past us.
He just got some kid aggro. That's why he's not going to be able to join.
Okay, I'm confused. The Mez guy or Owl guy?
Mez says he cannot join. I just tossed Al a invite and he accepted it.
We too high for him?
To join us.
He's level 60.
He's
Somebody loot.
That's up. He should be fine.
Well, I mean, 60's fine to join us if he's not too worried about loot. Because if you want something decent, you know, really the only places worth going are King or CE. I guess if you're in it for a little bit more money. I think CE actually pays more money on the long run than King does.
Yeah, well, I
Where
don't
would
know.
Donald go?
Because, I mean, think about it. What are the odds that you're actually going to get a funky tunic? They're pretty slim. Like, unless
That's true, but if you get a funky tunic, that's 40, that's 40K.
Yeah,
versus
but
how
then
much?
taking the odds of that going on, and then go to CE where you have a chance of getting 6 mobs at the exact same time every single rotation. The odds of you getting loot there are dramatically higher. So at the very least, you're gonna walk away with something. You go to King
Yeah.
Room, you might be there for 10, 15 hours and walk away with absolutely nothing. And that may happen to you again and again and again, unless of course you're ZK, and then you'll walk away with 14 funky tunics and something else. I don't know, that's not supposed to even
Very
drop
true.
there. He seems to have some really good luck down there. I don't know what his secret is, but
Loaded dice.
yeah, and then they have some really nice stuff over in CE as well. That cloak that drops, I think that's worth like 14K.
Oh, is that a pet?
Yeah, from the enchanter.
Mage spell.
Just go ahead and snag the
Which
spells.
one?
8 wages. Just kidding. You level.
Bandolier of Lukeland. All right. Yeah. I would just say pick up the spells and sell them if you guys want them. Because most people don't go after them unless it's something expensive like Bedlam.
Bedlam?
Now that we know for sure that's an actual spell that people want.
No, let me know if any of my buffs wear off you, by the way.
Group magic resist if you guys get close to the enchanter. So is there any items that you guys need for your alts down in Disco? You guys need any of the Froglet
I'm
Bonecaster
sure
robes?
things could pop up. Nothing. I'm not looking for anything specifically, but something pops up.
Well, the Froglet Bonecaster robe is really nice for casters. And then I believe there's... What's the bracer that spawns down there, Nano?
I wouldn't mind giving that to my first level wizard. Imagine that on him.
It's...
I could tell you exactly how it was with Fever on because that's what I had when I started.
Oh, yeah? How did it work?
Yeah, it's nice. But I also did the Staff of the Will at level 9 also, so I was doing pretty good.
Hey now.
I targeted the wrong enemy when I put my anti-damage shield on him. I apologize.
Oh, I was wondering how I did that.
No, that was me.
Mad skills or what?
Yeah.
I see this thing turning around there.
I rooted him too, so he's stuck in place now. Let's see, how many people are actually in this zone? 23 players? That's not too bad. It seems like a lot of people left Seb and ended up in Kale. How did that happen?
Probably guild raid.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's something.
It's just now 8 o'clock.
That's true. There is a lot of raiding going on. I'll get a better pet when we get down. What is the best pet? Do you guys have any idea? No, I mean, I know you get pets every once in a while.
I don't really pay that. Mine are like 18-second pets, but I think the Krups are higher level, so maybe he wants them.
Right. What about the spiders, the Carabus? Do they hit hard? Like any backstabbers down there you got to worry about when you're pulling?
I don't think people
Donald
usually
lost
take the
aggro.
spiders because those are the gems. That, you know what I mean? I don't want to
You got it back.
That's
take
true.
the placeholder for the gems, I think, is the reason. I could be wrong.
And
People seem not to take shamans or wizards. I don't know what the reason is. Maybe hit points or something. But they tend not to take the casters. From what I've
When they make them a pet, did they cast for you?
tried, Bond. I think so.
I think they cast on the enemy. I don't know if they cast on the group itself.
yeah, they
That's what
don't
I mean.
buff.
That would be interesting, though, right? To get buffed by a frog?
That would be pretty cool.
I'm just not sure. Like, I know a lot of the times when they give the enemies the spells that you have, it's the exact same one, right? It's not named something slightly different, so it wouldn't stack with shaman buffs if you have a shaman.
Yeah.
So I think that would be fair. I mean, otherwise, a raid force could really twink out their characters and buffs that they shouldn't have by going through the zone and collecting mobs that give them alternative buffs and then having an enchanter in every group and having everybody get buffs that way. Yeah, that would just be so unfair, but it would be kind of interesting. I don't know if Pantheon is going to be doing that, where they have the charming in there. I know, Nano, you were kind of put off from the game at first because there were no bards.
Yeah, I haven't really checked into it too much either since, but they're supposed to be birds now, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, they've been talking about putting them on the horizon at the very least. I don't know if they're going to be in the game when it first launches, but they definitely want to put the bards in the game at some point down the road. But one of the main things that I've gotten some comments on other videos that people have been talking about is the fact that the environment is going to be playing such a major role in the game itself. What would you guys assume would be the environmental effect of SEP? Like, is it like mildewy, moldy because you're in a cave? Do you guys find it would be cold because you're so far down, or?
All the floors
Probably.
should be slippery, man. Like some of them are. I think they all should be slippery, dude.
Like
They're
everywhere you
right
go, just
there.
covered in slime?
Yeah, this is clear too, by the way. Sorry to change the subject.
No.
Yeah, everything should be covered in slime.
You think maybe that that slime would get a buildup, almost like a debuff after you've been in there, or maybe after you've taken so many steps, because they can do that in games nowadays, where they can figure out how often you're moving, and maybe add that debuff on you, debuff 1, debuff 2, and so on and so forth, to make it where now you don't hit as hard. Maybe you actually slip and take your weapon off. Yeah, you have to re-equipping your weapon because you're just covered in slime from head to toe.
Yeah, or poison or something. Like these are frogs, so maybe poisonous slime or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
A little bit in there to kind of. Yeah, I could see that. The poison would. Oh, that would suck so bad though. To everybody's life just constantly ticking down. The longer you're in there, the more it does it.
Or deeper you go, maybe the worse it get. Instead of 5 a tick at the entrance, it'd be like 25 a tick in the center.
Yeah. That's kind of
Crazy.
It opens up so many possibilities when you start taking in the environmental effects of a zone into where you can go and what kind of armor you're going to be wearing. Because I know with you're actually kind of set in your armor. I know you talk about there's a few pieces you can get from like Sky Shrine or from Kale, but you're kind of happy with what you got. Like you can take pretty well and you're not hurting too bad.
Yeah, everything I have works, so I'm not in any hurry. I would go to a raid or something and try to get some other armor, but I'm not in a big hurry.
And is that because you don't need to switch out your armor as much? Because I know there's certain classes out there, like enchanters. They have their charisma gear, and then they have their intelligence gear, and then they have their resist gear. Do you have to do that at all? I mean, other than resist gear, which I think every class has to do for very specific mobs, but...
It's probably a catch-22, because probably if I raided more, I would probably need to switch out more. But I don't raid that much, so I don't need to. You know what I mean?
Right. But, I mean, that's really the only time people have to do it is for raids. You don't have to do that in your average group, right?
Nope.
Yeah. So if they did do the environmental effects in the game, I think maybe that would become a more common thing, having backpacks full of different gear.
Yeah, maybe.
What would be the best...
Bard's an unfair assessment, though, man, because I have a song that does everything. So, you know what I mean? Like, I have a resist song and stuff. So.
Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, you have to choose which ones you're going to be playing, because you can only play around 5 songs max, or can you get to 6 now?
4 to 5 is about it. Yep.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I mean, you could have your haste songs and all that other stuff, or you could have your resist songs. So, if you had the gear, you could just, put that on instead. It kind of makes me wonder, when it comes to armor, would you guys prefer, and I'd like to get all your opinions out there if you guys want to go down the list, but would you guys prefer to have different armor pieces that have different resist on them, or have it where you can augment the armor you're wearing and change the stats somehow? So maybe add more leather to it, straps, to give it more, durability, or add some kind of gems to it to give it, more resisted cold or something along those lines, so that you don't always have to switch out your armor, you're just augmenting what's on the armor itself.
I wouldn't mind the ability, like on EQ2, how you had the alternate gear, that you keeps just your appearance.
Right, the other tab where you can have your appearance tab.
Yeah,
Almost like
where
in
you can wear
Diablo.
anything you want, but you got that same look your whole time.
Right, right. But you're talking about just for like resist instead.
Uh,
Or are you talking about for looks?
but for looks, it's a essentially a way to do fashion gear because every time you got a new item, it changed.
Yeah,
But if,
I wasn't a big fan of that. I like being able to look at somebody and instantly knowing what they're wearing. It makes it very easy to pick out people that you believe, at least based off of some of the clothing they're wearing, can handle the area that you're going to be going to. So, like Athalar, his robe that he's wearing is from TOV, and it's kind of this bright orangish, pumpkinish color to it, very very distinguished. And if you see somebody wearing that, you instantly know at least what robe they're wearing. You can't really tell what pants and everything else, but you can see the robe. When it comes to plate casters or wearers, you can see a little bit more. You can see the sleeves, the breastplate, the gloves, bracer, pants, helmet, and boots, everything pretty much on what they're wearing, and you get a feel for if they can tank the area that you're hoping to go to. So I'm not really a big fan of the appearance tab, but yeah, I mean,
Well,
go ahead.
the thing with the appearance is that it gives you individuality. It's like a lot of people I've been watching as far as Conan goes. They've been wanting the ability to look different than everybody else whenever they get to certain armor sets based off of their race, because race plays really no part in that game
Yeah,
other than the fact that you are that race.
right.
well,
It's supposed to though. It's supposed to be able to give you like different recipes depending on your race, and they just haven't put that in there yet. You know, because the way I look at it, and I could be completely wrong on this one, guys, but the way I look at it is if they just added more recipes or more armor types, people would have a wider range of stuff that they could put on. Kind of like in this game. Like, you don't have to wear the Bonecaster robe. You can wear the robe that Fever is wearing right now. I believe that's the one that gives you haste, right?
Nope, this is the
Oh,
Bonecaster.
this
It's
Bonecaster.
Orgul who has the haste one.
Oh, okay. So there's different robes out there. It's not one ring to rule them all. Basically, when it comes to armor. However, if you could augment that a little bit, kind of, maybe add more fur to it to augment for cold resist, and then change the graphic of that, it could be a robe with maybe a little bit of fur around the collar and the cuffs. And then when you go to another zone, you'd be able to augment it, take that fur off, and it may cost you something to kind of switch back and forth, and
now
do something different where it has another look to it. So you're still wearing the same
would it
robe.
have that same look if you traded it to somebody else?
It would if you kept whatever it was that you were augmenting on it.
Now that would be cool.
So I mean,
Uh,
it's just
Sort
an
of,
idea,
personalizing your gear.
right? But it actually is personalizing it in a way that makes sense to the game. It's not just, oh, here's some fancy collars, yeah, like dyes that really don't do anything. This would be changing it so that it actually does resist poison or resist disease or whatever the effects in the game are. To the point where if you are in a very cold zone, the people you see running around would be wearing like fur coats
Fur.
or
And
pelts
heavy
on them.
leathers.
Yeah, things of that sort. Whereas if you go to a hot zone, a lot of people would be showing, bare arms and chest a little bit, maybe straps, to kind of give off that the illusion that they're part. They become, what's that? Accumulated to the zone or whatever it's word. It's kind of like what the Marines.
Acclimated.
Yeah, it's what the Marines
Accumulated?
have to do. Yeah, there you go. Accumulate it. That doesn't
I
quite
think
work.
that's
Or
right. I don't know.
acclimated.
Acclimated is,
Acclimated,
yeah.
that's what it is.
I was just, but you guys know
Well,
what I'm talking about.
There is a game that I have
What
played
do
where
think it means?
you
What do think it
upgrade,
means?
Where you upgrade what?
where you actually upgrade the armor, but it's not that you're doing it for the weather. You're doing it because of the fact that you're increasing the resists or anything along those lines.
Ah, yeah, we got an ad here.
I would also
Forgot.
like to have had something like EQ, but when you come across a magic item that you can't use, but it has an effect on it that you might be able to strip the effect off and put it on something else.
Yeah, just be able to change your equipment to suit your needs just kind of
In a
minor,
personal way.
yeah, but not like a big way. Like I don't want any weapon to be interchangeable with another weapon because I learned this or I learned that kind of thing. I want it to be where I still want to go after that very specific weapon because it has something really cool that no other weapon has. However, I do want to be able to add something to it. Maybe, like in this game, you could add poisons to your blades if you're a rogue. However, the poisons don't last very long. I think it's like one hit and the poison's
One
gone.
hit or miss.
Yeah, so it could be something like that, maybe a little less severe. I think that's super hardcore to have to put on a piece of poison or, a poison
That's
salve
expensive.
every hit. However, I guess you don't have to do it every hit. If you think about it, when you hit somebody with that, I think it has a 100% chance to go off. Whether it actually takes or not, whether they resist it or not is another story. But if they don't, then the poison lasts for a little bit, right? It's like a 30-second, a minute poison, depending on the level and severity of it.
It depends on the type of poison it is. I know later on, like 1 or 2 expansions past Villiers, you could have you could do this before that, but you could have a poison on each hand, and those poison last at least 60 seconds. And one would be a slow, and one would be a dot, that kind of thing.
So that's not bad. That's basically once every fight. And if you're soloing, that's perfect for you.
And you can even make the slow potions here. It's called sloth. And it's made out of using the cactus, the sap from the cactuses, and over there.
Right. It's there's so many things they could have done with it to give each class a very specific thing. Obviously rogues could have majored a little bit more in poison if they kind of integrated it in there where it was a little bit more useful.
Cheaper.
And well, I mean, it's kind of cheap if you do it yourself. You go out and get the ingredients. You just go through it so quickly. I think of like with druids, they're one of the few classes that are supposedly all about nature, and yet I can't truly think of anything that they get other than to be able to stop the clouds that is, highly useful as a druid that has anything to do with nature. I know they get the ability to charm animals. I mean, what's your take on it,
Well,
Magix?
look
Because
at
you're actually a
D&D
druid.
druids. They can warp wood. So imagine someone's spear just getting all crookedy like. For example,
Right.
raise and lower water.
That more is to do with elements. I would give that to the mages. But
Yeah, that would be more of a mage thing, but like at the same time, certain aspects would follow under
Are we moving in?
the druid realm. So like it's 50-50 on how you look at it, really.
what would you pick if you had to throw something in there, an element of some sort to, or maybe not an element, but something to give you for nature as a druid?
Well, that's what they do. They'll take a spell that's used by 2 or 3 different spellcasters, then just change the name and change the level a little bit. And now you got a druid spell, like Singing Storm.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, to be honest. There's several different things that I would think would be a little bit more interesting to see as if it was a druid. I mean, the names in themselves, for the most part, kind of point towards like this is nature-y, like, of course, protection of the glades or things along the lines of skin like stone and things like that. But there's some things that could be, I believe, more geared towards what a druid and nature-y. Like they shouldn't have I don't think their healing spell should be like healing, greater healing and things like that. I think they should be something more along the nature side, I guess is the best way to go ahead and say it. So like something like healing waters, that would be something more along what a druid would do, where healing leaves, something like that would be a little bit more
Like a hippie hug, something like
that. Yeah. 'Cause I mean, that's pretty much what a druid is a hippie. Let's be real.
Yeah, I could see that. And when you start talking about the different elemental effects in a zone, maybe they could even use that in reverse, where it'd be like an autumn zone where it rained or leaves were falling down, and you'd be able to use the leaves that are supposedly around you that would normally be causing damage because they're maybe razor backed or something kind of leaves. and create a small, like, I don't know, what do you think, like a windstorm or something, and then use that against the enemy.
Yeah, that should be like what they use to go ahead and put around their friends and stuff like that to use as the damage shields.
Right, yeah.
But, like, instead of it just being one individual person that I have to cast it on, it would be like a group-wide thing, you know, until you get Legacy. But that's.
I assume
that's
gems are going alpha, right?
Yeah, Sapphire on this one.
47 Druid and Seb. What is what?
You know, we
Y'all
like,
take anybody.
we like to bring people in here, let them check it out for the first time in a safe environment. And
I
that's
got a level 2.
Hey, you know, you can't get experience, but bring them on down.
Let mages,
I just
even
want
let
loot.
mages in, dude. You know what I'm saying?
What?
We even let mages in, dude.
Yeah, that's what I heard. The only reason why I keep them around.
I think they got to pay their
There was
way,
a-
though.
Did
There was
you
a
hear?
dude streaming the other day with 5 mages and Seb or something like that, man.
3.
Was it 3? I thought you had 5.
It was 3.
You're wrecking face.
Yeah,
Did you hear
one of
us
them-
talking about the mage in here?
Mm-mm.
The Cash Me Outside one.
Oh.
I'm asking if he saw that. There's a level 54 mage already in here in Seb named Cash Me Outside, and they have their epic from Rampage. I
That's
don't
a
know.
big
Game
deal.
themselves after that girl's phrase. Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
We got 2.
Sounds like something that Rampage would have, though. So, I mean,
That was a good nuke.
Probably their Koth Mage.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. Get some.
Yeah.
Good night.
What was
Really
that
good.
movie?
Yeah.
Was it Tremors where the guy hawked a loogie and it was like another animal coming out of him? It was disgusting. That's kind of what that sounded like right there. It was. I think it was the second one where they go to New Mexico. No, it was New Mexico. It was Mexico that they go down to. They gotten a little bit more ridiculous as time went on. I don't know if you guys saw any of the sequels to them.
The 5th one, Bloodlines.
Yeah, you know. I
Where
mean,
he
you know, it
meets-
is
where what's in
Bert.
meets his son.
Yeah, the guy from Scream, I think. The guy who was like from the video store, and he was talking about all like the hidden rules of horror movies. I don't know. Like I said, you know, Bert was always interesting. I like that fringe dude who kind of is on the edge of society, all about guns, all about survival. You know,
And it doesn't do him any good, hardly.
he's the only one that was prepared. The only one. He was making explosives. You know, he had all the water treatment, filtration, and all that. Like, it was crazy, the stuff that dude had.
Yeah, he said, what was that one? He said, 17 years of planning and prep, and in 2 minutes, they ate all my MREs.
Yeah. I think that was a third one? That was Butt Blasters or something when they introduced those guys? Oh my god, there's so many ridiculous ones that they came out with, but I was a fan of the Kevin Bacon one, the very first one. But Adler, we were kind of talking about the different side effects of, like in Pantheon, where they're going to incorporate the elemental effects. Like if you're in a cold zone, you're going to have like a little bit of chill to it. You're going to get hurt that way. You might be able to augment that with certain equipment. So you might be able to wear a whole bunch of cold gear and you wouldn't get hit by that area effect. Can you think of anything that the mages would get that would kind of, as far as spells go, that they don't really incorporate into EverQuest? We were talking about with druids, how they don't really get anything that's truly nature other than like being able to turn off the rain. Do you feel like that with your classes, or something that you like? I really wish they had done that.
Summon Long Johns.
He just went off. He just went AFK.
Who
Just
did?
imagine Long
Athletic
Johns
Davis.
on him.
Oh, okay.
He'd be walking
I
on
was
the
like,
knees of the Long Johns while wearing.
Summon Long Johns.
There
you
I guess so.
Right? They're supposed to be the masters of summoning elements.
That's true. I would summon something else like a fire, or maybe
Burn
Jones is an element.
maybe some ice fishing.
Matchsticks.
Who's up on gyms? This guy's asking.
Have we gotten any yet?
I don't know.
Gems, yeah.
I
we
thought
got
there was a
one
sapphire.
We got a sapphire already. Did you loot it, Alert?
Yeah.
So
You would-
Dimmy.
So,
You would think that if they did that in Pantheon with the elements affecting characters, that certain types of armor, just the fact that you're wearing leather or fur or something like that would help.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And this.
And if you're wearing, I mean, I'm sorry, tanks, but if you're wearing plate, it's not
And
really good in
one
cold
thing
weather.
I would like to see is, when you go swimming under the ice and you come out, you better get out of your clothes and into something dry, or you're gonna suffer.
This guy that you invited to group and said no is moving past our camp on through to Disco 2.
Yeah. He hit me up, and I was like, I don't think we're taking on Disco 2. So.
Oh, I was like, what the heck's going on here?
Yeah, we kind of discussed a little bit about how to augment your equipment, because resist is going to be such a huge thing in that game. It sounds like, and you're going to be constantly changing it. Do you want to see it where you have to carry around 14 backpacks of different resist everywhere you go, or would you rather see it where the equipment you're well, they might if they make it that way, but I mean, would you rather see it how you could augment the equipment you're wearing by adding like fur to it for extra cold resist and then taking it off and adding in or taking something off of it to make it a little bit less hot when you go to the hot
Either
zones?
way, it's good. Either way, it's gonna be somewhat cumbersome because you're talking about either having complete different sets like we do now, or carrying reagents to augment your stuff.
That's
6 one way, half dozen the other.
That's true, but it could be reagents that combine to do certain things. So like a piece of leather and then a piece of fur combined to make something for cold, and then you can take those apart and just use the leather for extra damage, or in a zone where you might need to. You're getting hit by a bunch of blunt objects, maybe from like skeletons or something. You can use it that way.
Yeah, who knows? If they incorporate it into the game, that'd be pretty cool. Because I don't think, not that I've known anyways, not that I see, other than like H1Z1 things like that, where the weather really takes effect and hurts your character, or you have to be. That's the third player basically.
What's
it's
that?
not just PvE and PvP, but the environment's also a player theoretically at that point.
Yeah, I think that's the game that Doom plays. Does the same thing. Like if you're out in the rain, you'll get sick. You start getting cold. You get like ammonia. You got to warm up. You got to dry out. So you don't want to be out there in that rain if you're in the wrong part of the region. I guess that would kind of be the exact same thing.
Through the ice and get all soaking wet. When you come out, you got minutes.
Right. So you'd have to be wearing the right gear when you go to those places and stay away from certain regions. I just don't know what the right severity to a game like that is. I mean, do you want to see it hardcore where, like with Doom, he dies in a matter of like 5 minutes if he doesn't get warm?
Yeah, you have to balance it some way. It's got to be some way to balance it pretty quickly. Because if not, your player base is going to get kind of upset, I would think.
Right, because I mean, all your time is going to be spent battling the environment and not battling the creatures, which I think is where most people like spending their time and checking out the dungeons and getting the loot. So you do want it to be like a side role, but like how much of a percentage? You thinking like 25% of the time you need to worry about your effects? Because anything less than that, it just becomes kind of like, why even bother?
And it might not even be that. I mean, they might even do something a little different where, you're in an ice area. If you have that line of spells, it's not going to affect the mobs as much as something else would because they're used to the cold.
Yeah, it also makes me think of, remember, did anybody ever play Temple of Elemental Evil in D&D? Remember if you remember that they had 4 nodes that would go to air, water, fire, and earth? Try going into that fire without the proper protection.
Yeah, but see, that's another thing we're talking about. Is like, what's the proper level of severity? Do you want it where you go into that fire zone and you instantly die because your gear is not completely and totally outfitted for that? Or do you want it to be more of a, it's a nuisance and it might be a pretty big nuisance, but it's not instant death. Like you can get away without it.
I wouldn't say instant, but, like 10 hit points per round.
Well, again, that comes down to
how much you heal yourself over and over.
Like 10 hit points is kind of vague because you don't know at like what level you're going to have.
At what level, yeah. It could be.
That's the damage it does.
Yeah, but it could be even.
Without protection, you take 10 points of damage.
Yeah, and at
with protection, you might take 1.
But that's what I'm saying. Like at level 10 hit points might be a lot, but at level 50, 10 hit points is going to be nothing. So should it be like percentage based and not point based?
It might not even be a damage thing. It could be depending on what stats they have in the game. If they have some kind of endurance type stat, if you're in a hotter area, you're gonna lose your endurance faster. You're gonna fatigue faster, basically. If you're in a colder area, you're not gonna generate health as fast.
And you're gonna take damage
or even
more.
mana as fast. You could do there's so many different ways they could do it. It's a different mechanic. I mean, it hasn't been done very much in games. Most
video.
games, like I said, H1Z1, things like that. But I don't know.
That's why it's really kind of getting me curious, because you're right, it hasn't been done very often in games, but I think it's going to add so much more to it, and it's going to open up so many more doors if they take full advantage of it. And I don't know if they are. I don't know how they're treating it yet. I don't know if it's more of kind of a curiosity for them as well, and they're just going to throw it in there every so often, or
Or
if
if
it's going to
they're
be.
even-
It's
thinking
it's
along
probably
these
something on the
lines,
board.
yeah.
I mean, it's probably something on the board. Honestly, it's one of those things. It's gonna be touch and go. You could have some people that are absolutely gonna love it, and then other folks that are completely gonna hate it.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's always going to be people out there who don't like change,
Yeah,
but in the end, I think more people are going to enjoy the differences, because I've played so many RPG games out there, so many MMOs out there, and they really are just a cookie cutter cutout of one another. The only thing that changes is the backstory. I'm a barbarian. I am in the Middle Ages. I am in sci-fi era. I'm in space. Like whatever it might
Yeah.
be.
yeah, origins and things like that. Placements of where you're actually at. But it'd be cool to see. I might curse at it a few times.
Hello.
Oh yeah, until we figure it out, I'm sure there's gonna, and then of course until they figure it out too, because they're gonna be making changes to it.
Yeah, they're gonna be making changes left and right for it. So the beta time is gonna be really important as far as testing all that. It's cool. I like the idea of it. It's one thing that I wish Skyrim had in a way, because Skyrim's set in the mountainous areas, and you go up in there and it's snowing and whatnot, and it doesn't really affect you at all. But there's
Well,
other things that do.
I was gonna say there's mods that I use for that. So you actually
Yes.
have to wear equipment. You also have to sleep or have a fire at night so you don't die.
I tried one of those, but it was really broken, really bad.
Which one was it?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I pulled it off as soon as I saw some glitches with it. I mean, as soon as I got in the water and I came out, I died in 2 minutes, and I was like, that's not even close.
Yeah,
No.
there's another reason to have a campfire, to purify your water, drinking water.
Yeah.
Try drinking water out of the stream and getting Giardia.
There's
7 days
also
later, you're regretting that decision.
Aylar, can you pull Mezra out of Disco too? He just died.
Ezra?
Mhm.
Okay.
Back
Tell
in the
him
big guys.
send me his consent.
I think he already did. I told him to. But what were you
Disco
saying?
too?
Yeah, Disco too. What were you saying, Fever?
I forget what I was saying.
Well,
What was the saying?
yeah, I don't know. I think you were gonna mention something about like the fire and the cold killing you really quickly.
I have mods for Skyrim for the hot, cold, also for food, where you actually have to consume food or you'll die. So it for me, I have it on what I would consider the hard setting, and it makes the game very, very hard.
I like the fact that you have to consume food. That's something that they've been throwing in some games, especially on the hard core setting when it
Conan?
comes to, well, not just Conan, but if you look back all the way to Fallout. Fallout, if you played it on the extreme mode, you had to drink water and you had to eat food. I think it was New Vegas where I first saw that one in there. That gives you the ability to make it a little bit more difficult, a little bit more realistic on your half. At the same time, the food didn't spoil incredibly quickly. Like, you got cans of beans. 'Cause,
Yeah,
that was...
Conan, every 5-10 seconds, a piece of meat spoils.
Yeah, I think they need to
5-10
work out.
seconds?
Well,
Is that because of your server though, or is that all of them like
It's
that?
it's
I
well,
think
the
that's way
server servers get to decide on a lot of rules, and one of them is like how often food spoils. But even if they lower it down to the lowest possible rating, the food will still eventually spoil. And they don't give you any ability in that game to make like salted pork or beef
Or
jerky.
Jerky.
Like you need
Well, there
something
was,
to make it longer.
The guy I saw play had a drying rack or something though, man.
Oh well, then maybe they do later on in the game. I just we haven't gotten to that stage yet, so maybe we're judging it harshly.
Where was the
Before we
drying
got-
rack?
I don't know about that, but for me playing, I actually left some things on the forums today about single player, like the slider situation, the fact that it takes so long to craft that every piece of food that I gather is putrid before I can even get it to make it in the oven or whatever. But I can craft fast in my actual inventory by making one fiber, then making lots of foundations, and then after that it'll speed up whatever it is that I'm crafting.
Yeah.
But if I try to make those foundations or make anything without
Wrong mob,
making
dude.
the
Wrong
fiber
mob.
first,
Wrong mob, dude. Wrong mob.
That's his peddler.
Liar. Liar. Charmed it. Never mind.
All right.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about, man. It does have a lot of bugs to the game, and one of them is actually keeping me from playing lately. I logged in, and it just crashes my entire computer straight down to the power turning off. I've never actually had a game do that before. Don't know what could be causing that. Only time I've ever seen that happen is
well,
overheating.
that's
Yeah.
known. That's a known issue.
Is it?
It's
Yeah.
What's the?
Uh,
Can you? I mean, do you know anything about it? Because like
No,
it,
no. I mean, they had a thing in their on one of their patches saying known issues. That's a known issue.
but do you know what's causing it? Like something I can stay away from while I'm in there, or is it just randomly
No,
just shut
I
down?
mean they know they need to fix it. Is what they're saying.
That's crazy. Like, what kind of known issue can you write into a code that will make a computer literally just shut off, like just gone?
and
Just,
it's only.
Well,
open
are
by
you talking
the
about
next
your
city.
computer shuts off?
yeah, the
or
whole
game
no,
shuts
the
off?
whole computer
whole
just
computer.
shuts
Oh.
down.
That's not a known issue.
It is now.
For you,
Like
anyway.
I said, I
right?
think it's whatever's causing that towards your recording software, because it mentioned that whenever I have Fraps running in the background.
No, not. It doesn't have anything to do with that because I've actually turned off my recording software. Didn't even load it up at all, and it still happens. So it's
Yeah.
and it only happens when I get into a fight in a certain part of the zone. So it's definitely the game. I've not had that issue with any other game I've ever played. And it's filled with bugs. The whole game is filled with bugs. I think that's one of the main things to keep in mind when you guys are going out there deciding whether you're going to do an alpha. We were talking about Pantheon. Pantheon currently is in, I think, pre alpha or something along those lines. And later on in the year, they're going to open it up to, I think, like pre alpha beta or something weird. Like they have a whole bunch of stages to alpha and then a whole bunch of stages to their beta. I think it's the most broken up kind of release of the different sections of the game that I've ever seen in my life. But I'm kind of glad they're doing it that way because it's going to be a big MMO and they got a lot of work to do for it. Let's see, Tism. Guild group in HS West. What about yourself?
You guys getting little patches of lag, or is it just me, guys?
It's just you.
Yeah, I'm
The
not
problem
getting
I
by
have
anything
is I
tonight.
wasn't able to always lay foundations in Conan. There's a gap in my bridge that I just had to just cover up, and I can't put the fence foundations on there.
Yeah,
You know, the fence foundations are
I made
I
the
would
fence foundations, and parts of it I could do.
you
One
don't even
side.
need to use foundations. The fence foundations. All you have to do is use the fences.
No, it wouldn't attach to the regular foundation.
well, you don't need a foundation at all, is what he's saying.
Yeah, you don't even need a foundation at all.
I think it's more for looks, and eventually it's supposed to do more for the durability and fortification.
Yeah, it's a
of your
second
place.
layer. It's a second layer to protect your wall.
But in the end, every server I've ever played on in that game has it where buildings are indestructible, which I think they definitely need to change. They need to change a lot. Like one of the
I was
things.
gonna say, well, that's because you're not playing on a PvP server.
That's
PvP
why. That's the only
servers
reason
allow
we have
for full destruction.
They also need to make it where when you build in an area, all the creatures don't just despawn and never come back again. Because as the server gets more and more populated, you're just not going to have anything there. Like nobody's going to be able to find any creatures because like these big fortifications that are filled.
Oh, we got a diamond.
Oh, nice.
Going
Random.
on them, or are
Yeah.
they just...
Nah, random on the diamond.
Hey guys, when once we get the 3 room pops, I'm gonna go take my AFK if that's all right.
That's good, man.
I think that's
No.
a good time to do it.
No.
2 incoming,
Oh yeah, beat that 19.
unless I get that.
I
pass
tied
off.
you, dude. I tied you. We both got a 19.
So,
what are the
so we
chances?
got
Oh
to
my God.
reroll, right?
No, because Al got it, man.
Al
Yeah.
got it.
Okay, where's
Yep, I'll
this,
hit that.
Those
this bug
enchanters, I'm telling you.
taking forever.
And on that note, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and end the first episode here. We're definitely going to be doing more episodes here in Disco tonight. And if we get lucky enough and a spot opens up, we might be able to go down to CE or even the King Room because we got everything we need here. We got a perfect group for it. As always,
Yep.
guys, I'm AC Gamer. If you're watching on my channel, go check out these other guys. We got Nano03, who's coming out with a lot of different games out there, a lot of retro ones, actually, for some of the older systems. If you want to tell them a little bit about that before we head out.
Yeah, I'm slacking a little lately, man. But yeah, I've been putting up some Sega and some Nintendo and stuff like that. Some Xbox, original Xbox. So, but I haven't put up one for a couple days. I've been slacking. So.
Now, it happens a little bit from time to time, but if you guys want a blast from the past, that will definitely do it for you. There's some really good games there. And he actually had a video of him owning his son at Mortal Kombat, guys. So, if you think the little kids are the ones that always win, not necessarily, guys. Not necessarily. So go check it out. Always some good times there. We also got Cypher Deck with us.
Heyo.
And you were coming out with some new series down the road, right?
Oh yeah, I have a new game that I'm going to be recording whenever I get home tonight, and also still working on the Death Star.
Nice. So I think you ran into some issues with that one just being so big your computer couldn't handle it. Did you figure out a way around it?
Well, they actually finally released the ability to make an empty world where you could not have asteroids. So that fixed a lot of the issues.
Oh, so not having the asteroids actually cleared up a little bit of lag on the server.
Whoever got
Yep.
85 beat Nano by 1.
Nice. I look forward to seeing
So-
that one for sure.
Yeah. The problem is I can't paste, so I sent a message to the creators. Hopefully this Thursday they'll have that fixed in a bug, or have that fixed.
So far,
Sweet.
ever.
We also have Bushido Bull with us, guys, as always playing Alar. We have Richard
Emmy, you
Heat
gonna roll?
playing Mavis. Now I'll pass on that one. And
All
what
right.
are you
Every
coming out
one.
with lately, Mavis? You doing any games?
Nothing. I just moved, so just chilling with my friends when I can right now.
Nice. And we also have Chupa, who I think might still be AFK. If he's not, he'll chime in here in a second.
In spirit?
There we go. As always, it's great to have the whole gang out here, guys. If you see us, hit us up in game. Let us know how you guys are liking the server. And until next time.
So
Like-
subscribe.
Hey guys, and welcome to the disembodied voice of AC Gamer. We are definitely going to be doing a lot more series in the future, but here are a few of them that you guys might find interesting. Of course, you're more than welcome to check them out. I would love to hear your comments. Again, if you do enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. It's definitely the indicator that I use to tell if you guys want to see more videos like that, of that particular game style, of that series in the long run. So when you guys leave comments down, it helps me decide whether we should keep doing it, as well as whether you want to see games like that in the future. And here are a few of them right here. I kind of picked out a few of different genres. We will be doing spotlights for other YouTubers in the future. So if you want to get a little shout out, definitely let me know. If you group with me, chances are you will get a shout out in here eventually. But for now, these are just 4 series that I have that I feel like could use a little bit more attention and that you guys might actually enjoy as well. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we will definitely catch you all next time.